What's up, everybody? The Great One has finally been revealed. Now, we didn't actually get to see any variations yet, but the teaser was finally posted by EW. And it looks like the new Great One is a wild boar. This was posted on Discord as well as Twitter and all of their other social media, so I'll show you guys the posts right here. It kind of very heavily indicates that this is going to be the Great One. And I gotta say, my prediction was pretty correct. I had a feeling it was going to be one of the reworked species. I told you guys I would have preferred it to be a roe deer, but that it could have been a wild boar as well, because those were the two new reworked species. And typically they rework an animal before giving it a Great One. So the pattern continues. It seems like anytime an animal gets a rework, we end up getting a Great One shortly after. Or sometimes, in this case, even in the same update. So let's take a look at the teaser that EW posted and show you guys exactly what it is. And because it seems the next Great One is going to be the wild boar, I decided to have a few different variations made to kind of give us an idea of what we could hopefully expect with the Great One wild boar. Now, I didn't generate any like special tusk sizes or anything, just it's the same one pretty much with a bunch of different furs on it, and I think all of these look quite nice. Now, first, this one's just kind of a golden one. It's like a little golden pig, you know, not anything crazy, but looks kind of cool. Because almost every single Great One always has like a relatively basic fur type that isn't as fancy as the others. And I think, you know, we could expect to see something like this. Now, the next one that I made is this guy right here. It's got like a zebra striped one, which looks really interesting. And you never know. There's always a weird, wacky one like the tiger stripe looking mule deer or the like kind of stripy wolves that we got. But this right here, I kind of feel like it almost fits on a pig a bit better than it would with those two that I just mentioned. So like something like this, I wouldn't completely hate. I feel like this would actually be kind of a solid option. Let me know in the comments what type of variations you think we're going to get for the wild boar. And also let me know if you guys like any of these variations that I've got in this video, because I think some of these definitely could be possibilities and they could look quite cool. And also, let me know what you would call some of these. What type of name would you give if these were the variations and you got to choose the names for them? Now, let's move on to the next one. This one, a little bit crazier. I mean, a little bit more red than I probably would have wanted it to be. But, you know, I'll change the contrast of it. Either way, I think a red variation for the wild boar Great One is pretty much a necessity. I mean, when you think of like wild hogs and pigs, you think of all the different colors that like a feral hog would have. While this is obviously not the same species as a feral hog, I think it would be fun to kind of incorporate those same types of patterns into the Great One wild boar, just to give them a little more pop, give them a little more of like a fancy design. This is almost kind of like a spotted cheetah type design with maybe a little bit larger spots than what they would have, but still quite cool. And then I also decided to take one that's a little bit, I think, more reasonable. This one has spots just like the last one, but it's black with silver spots, and it's got a big old scar and a blind eye. I think this is probably a little bit more realistic of what we could see. Maybe even something like this, just minus the spots. Either way, there's a lot of cool possibilities with a wild boar Great One. And I know quite a few of you probably wanted to see like an elk as the next Great One. I did too, believe me, that would have been my #1 pick. But I understand why they would go with a boar here. I mean, if you've been in the Call of the Wild community since the beginning of this game's existence, the second that we got the Great One whitetail in, wild boar was one of the first ones that got brought up as a future Great One. There were so many people requesting a Hogzilla, and it looks like we're finally going to get that Hogzilla put into the game. Overall, I think this is going to be a decently popular Great One just for that fact in and of itself. And I also hope that these look quite nice, because obviously we haven't seen the actual variations yet, and that's going to really determine how much people love this thing. Let's hope we get some pretty crazy stuff, though. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, as well as leaving a like and a comment down below, share the video with a friend, let them know the great news that there is a new Great One coming to Call of the Wild. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!